One of the biggest things I really wanted to do is bring respect back to studio horror films.
Don't you see? See what?
I love a horror film that has a strong sense of dread. This sense of something bad is about to happen.
There's craftsmanship and an art form in it, and I think it's time we bring that back.
Hey, Mark.
When you're doing the second film in a series, it was both a challenge but also fun to figure out where can we zig where we zagged last time and find ways to turn scenes that might seem familiar on their heads and do something different with it.
The tension and the suspense are done on a bigger palette than we did on the first time, so it gives people what they want from the original movie and the structure and story. But it's a bigger roller coaster ride than it was.
It's a darker world than the first one in a lot of ways. And it's also, I think, because it's the child that becomes possessed in it. I think that's kind of also awful because it's a child.
The Enfield case was a very natural successor to the original Conjuring film. It is certainly one of the best-known examples and the most documented examples of paranormal activity, of supernatural possession.
Get back to bed, the lot of you!
I think one of the biggest things that attracted me to this particular story and wanting this to be the second movie is the setting. I really do think the London setting just gives it a slightly different flavor. The location setting, you know, the people just have a different look to it, have a different smell to it.
London was certainly a pretty depressed place in 1977. The miners' strikes were going on. It was the birth of the punk movement. It's gray, it's dark, it's winter. We just thought it would really give a different look and feel to the environment that the Warrens are putting themselves into.
My cinematographer, Don Burgess, did such a great job in capturing that atmosphere that I really wanted to go for.
We know we're coming here to do that special. Right. So we could be here, she could step up into this.
When you get Don, it's a different look. He's really, really unbelievable and obviously in tune with each director. To be able to shift his focus and his look is pretty astounding.
Well, this film for me is been an absolute joy because we have a very visual director, James Wan, who's recreating this story. And so the cinematography is a big part of telling this type of a story with the light and the shadow, what you see and what you don't see. When I light a set, I'm always keeping that in mind. I want it to be dramatic, I want it to be interesting, but I want it to feel real. I want the audience to be connected to it.
James is a master at crafting scares and using the camera to create that sense of foreboding. He uses really long takes. He makes you feel like you're really there in the room with their characters.
There's a lot of really long kind of sequences where he'll join 3 scenes and put it in one run. So you're just in the moment of like, I hear my daughter screaming, what is that? Coming to the lights and running down the hall, hearing it, then going into the next scene, what that is. So you do get this kind of long continuous feeling of like being in the reality of that situation.
It's all about how you move through the house and how the camera can move through the house is first and foremost the most important thing.
You got your school uniform for tomorrow? Yes, Mum, I'm getting it.
The design of the house, Julie Berghoff, our production designer, did a fantastic job of creating this house. First of all, recreating a world of 1970s and the world of these council houses, but also she just brought a whole texture and tone and color palette to that when it's lit in certain ways, really makes it scary.
The hero chair. It was actually from the Warner Brothers set dressing, set deck department, but we aged it a little bit more and added a skirt on it, and we've been adding a little bit of mold to it as the house gets more haunted. The chair kind of gets more haunted, and you can see the mold that I've created on the back wall.
I told my production designer very early on that we need to, literally build a 2-story house. We needed to make our version of this house slightly bigger because we needed to accommodate the film crew, the actors, so that we can literally follow actors up and down the stairs. And also that way it feels more like a real house. So it doesn't feel like a movie set.
We had to also make this house longer so that James could get a lot of these long hallway tracking shots.
You walk through that house and you get lost in it very quickly, lost in the fact that this does not seem like a set. And that's a great feeling.
It's really a full realized house. You can go in the front door and up and down the stairs. So I think the kids, that helps them a lot, really believe that they're in this environment and in this world. And I think it helps them kind of with their performances all the way around.
One of my favorite shots is the camera starts on me sleeping in the chair, and then my mom comes downstairs and she helps me up to bed, and then the camera pans to the window and it starts raining, and then it's supposed to turn into daytime, and the camera backs up and then there's me on the sofa. So in that shot, I had to run upstairs real quick, put a robe on, change, run back downstairs, and then get on the sofa. But it's really cool because it is one continuous shot. That's really cool.
That's also, a real testament to the way James directs. He does as much as he possibly can in camera.
Action! Very good, cut it!
He does not want to rely on CG unless he absolutely has to. And I think that is the secret to a lot of the really scary sequences that we have.
He's got a feeling that Hitchcock had, knowing what the human spirit is in terms of being afraid of things. He uses shadow and darkness and surprises.
Working with James on this level has been really, really fun because he's so good at what he does. It gives you an opportunity to really make a film that feels elevated above just genre, which is what we tried to do in The Conjuring.
If we keep doing this, you're going to die.
I think the love story aspect of the Warrens is something that's very important for me. The idea of, sneaking in a romantic story into this film was really cool. I guess I just kind of disguised it as a horror movie to get that across. I just love working with Vera and Patrick. Those two are so much fun on set to work with. They're kind of like kids, When I call cut, they would just sort of, just joke around amongst themselves, and we just have fun. And it does help, that kind of like lighter atmosphere really does make a big difference.
You have to balance that negativity. There's a lot of darkness that you're portraying.
All right, we're through. It's time to come back.
With the first Conjuring, and certainly with this one, we were very careful to build the characters into real characters, so that the more time you spent with them, the more you knew who they were, the scarier it would be when they went through the things that they went through.
You see this?
You care for these people that are on this journey, that are living this nightmare, and you're going to be in there and you're going to be rooting for them, and you're going to, you're going to hope it all ends well.
That style of filmmaking is very important to the way I construct my scares.
Janet!
Because if you believe in the characters, if you really like who they are, I can put them into whatever situation and you would care about them. And so when the scary thing starts to happen, you would want to see them pull through it.
I was gonna say hi, just give you guys a hug.
I'm very grateful for giving us the chance to tell our true story. The film set and all the people that I've met, the directors, producers, the writers, everyone involved. I value them very much.
When you see these characters come to life and you feel that this is part of the journey that we're all on, it's what connects us to cinema.
You see how much care we've taken with this franchise. That's going to pull people in.
We're going to scare the pants off of you.
But at the heart of the story, there's a tremendous love story. Makes it so beautiful, yeah.
We all had to work very hard to really live up to the bars that were set by the first one. That's kind of the things that you need to do as a filmmaker.